We are back. There's my main man, Eli Manning, two-time Super Bowl champ and MVP. Obviously, everyone remembers the great wins against the Patriots, the throw to Manningham there, the David Tyree catch. And here's Odell on a nighttime, making the big play, making Eli look good. Anyhow, Eli Manning, it's the Carton Show. Good morning. I've got Cody Decker and James Jones here. How you been, pal?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so you watched yesterday's games, and I wonder as a quarterback how much you felt for Brock Purdy. You know, this great story, and then unfortunately gets hurt in the manner he did, and what emotions kind of ran through your head and body when you saw that?
Yeah, you hated it for him, and to be there on the sideline, be standing there. But I've had an elbow injury before, and very similar to how he had it, where you're throwing and as you're about to release, someone just kind of pulls down on your hand type area. It just tweaks that elbow and that all those muscles, and you want to be able to throw, but just your grip strength, and you're just scared. You're scared to throw. It's just going to be so painful, and you just can't do it. And so, but to sit there on the sideline and then get called back into the game, but still not be able to throw the football is unfortunate. So unfortunate for the whole organization and the whole team. They had a great season. They've overcome so many quarterback injuries, but just couldn't overcome this one. But the Eagles are playing good football, and that pains me to say a little bit.
I know. James Jones is here. We're going to get him in a second, but you famously went back to Philadelphia last week. You said you'd never go back to Philadelphia, and I wonder what that experience was like for you before they took care of the Giants.
Well, it was interesting. I brought my 11-year-old daughter. She definitely, saw a few new gestures and learned a few new vocabulary words that she wasn't quite aware of. And I said, hey, whatever you hear and see in Philadelphia stays in Philadelphia. You can't bring that back to school. We don't need you being expelled. Like, don't do anything you saw and give those gestures to a teacher. They were probably not polite. They were not saying hello, I promise you, in any way. But it was just fun to root on the Giants. They had such a great season, making the playoffs, going to a playoff game and winning, and so I had to kind of bite my tongue a little bit and go back on my word that I'd never go to Philadelphia for a game, and had to go to this one, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to.
Eli, so talking about this 49ers quarterback situation, that I've been in the huddle with you before in the training camp, and you cannot tell me as a quarterback you do not know which receivers can really throw or not. That you could go up to coach and say, hey, coach, I know you saying use check and McCaffrey and all that, but hey, man, OBJ can spin it, or, Victor Cruz can spin it, James can throw it, You didn't think anybody went up to the Niners like, man, hey, some of these guys can do that.
Well, I think which guys can throw it. I don't know if which guys can read a defense and make a good decision on who to throw it to. I think it's been a while. Like, some of these guys maybe played a little pee-wee quarterback, but probably didn't play in high school or college. Like, these guys, these rush is serious. Like, these guys, there's some big men running at you, and you got to keep your eyes downfield and make a throw. Like, it's not happening. They're going to be running around, and they can throw it deep and they can throw it far, but can they, throw a slant or throw an end-breaking route? I don't know. I think that's a big task right there. So, you're just not prepared to have two quarterbacks go down in a game. You just can't. You can't be prepared for that, and it's just unfortunate.
Eli, three plays, Eli. Go ball, slant, and QB draw. That's it. Don't make y'all read nothing. Hey.
It sounds like an interception and an interception and a run for 3 yards on those 3 plays.
Tell me what you thought. Kansas City, Cincinnati. I think it's the game a lot of us expected. Great quarterback play, obviously, between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Anything outtakes from that game for you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought both quarterbacks played well, and both defenses, played well. Obviously, a gutsy performance by Patrick Mahomes with a high ankle sprain. That's not easy. It was definitely painful on him, but I think it did affect his play. I think he missed a few throws that he doesn't normally miss because of it, but he was able to make some unbelievable throws, moving in the pocket, going up, throwing off balance, and none bigger than the last run where he gets the first down, gets out of bounds, gets the late hit call. on the sideline to put them in field goal range. So just a great performance by them. I thought Kansas City's defense and Spags had those guys going on the defensive side and pressuring Joe Burrow and getting a lot of sacks and kind of getting him uncomfortable at times. And so just a great team win right there.
Talking to Eli Manning, it's funny. A lot of people, as always, talk about the officiating. It's always the ref's fault, this guy's fault. And I always wonder, when you talk to a ref during a ball game, like you have a complaint about a call or a non-call, can you walk the audience through what that conversation is like? And if a referee or any official is receptive to you saying, hey, take a look at this, keep an eye on that, or you miss that, or are we blowing that kind of conversation up for more than it is?
I don't think the quarterback and the ref have too much conversation, and you kind of leave that up to the head coach. You always say, hey, let the head coach talk with the ref, or if there's a complaint. Sometimes I will say, hey, this guy's jumping, or hey, they're barking out the cadence on the defense. Certain things like that. If there's something going on, just to give them a heads up in a friendly conversation. But I think in these games, I don't think the refs want to get too involved. They want to let them go play, but if there's things going on, you got to call it. And if there's holding, if there's defensive holding, if there's penalties, there's a late hit on the sideline, and the quarterback's running, they still got to take care of those calls. So I didn't think there was too many kind of nitpicky calls. I thought the calls that were being called deserved to be called.
When you saw Trent Williams lift a grown man in the air and ragdoll him down, I just wonder what your thoughts were seeing that, considering not a single guy challenged him after he did that yesterday.
Yeah, I had not seen that before. That was a different move. Unfortunately, that was kind of just frustration, I think, setting in for that team, and unfortunately they couldn't be at their best with some of the injuries and continue to go. But unfortunately, to kind of have that happen during such an important game.
And let me ask you one more quickie. I'm sure you know by now, you're living in the area still. After the Eagles beat San Francisco yesterday, the Empire State Building was lit up green and white, and they put out on social media, "Fly, Eagles, fly." Obviously, New Yorkers are having a tough time with that, but I figured I'd give you an official chance to comment on what the Empire State Building did last night.
Yeah, I was a little shocked to see that. I got a bunch of people sent that to me last night. A little disappointed. So as a New Yorker and being Philadelphia in the division, that NFC East and such a rival, I'm all about sportsmanship and congratulating teams and organizations when they do a good job. But that seemed maybe kind of going too much out of the way to congratulate them and supporting them. So. That was a little tough to swallow.
And I have to ask, a friend of mine saw you at the airport a couple months ago and went up to you and said, hey, friends with Craig Carton. And they told me that you said to them, tell Craig to lose my number. And I'm just concerned, not that we were ever close, but I thought we at least, had a mutual respect of our relationship. But I guess not.
No, all the respect. Love coming on the show. Love talking to you. So I don't need you texting me. You said some weird things. So,
yeah, well, fair enough. Before I let you go, I know you're involved with Quaker Oats. Give me a little taste on what's going on with that.
Yeah, I'm excited to partner with Quaker and to invite fans to share how they pre-grain for the big game and a chance to win tickets and to the Super Bowl next year in Las Vegas. So basically, people to enter the contest, they can go on the TikTok, they can follow Quaker, and they can post and upload a video of them pre-graining and show how they prepare with Quaker Oats for these games using the caption #Quaker pre-grain #entry. So upload your video using Quaker Oats, how you get ready for the big game. You can start it today up to this year's Super Bowl and get have a chance to win some tickets and a trip to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, it actually goes from tomorrow through February 12th. You upload your pre-grain video, and one entry will be selected to win 2 tickets to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas next year. Quick thought, who's your Super Bowl champion this year, bud?
just because, hey, I usually try to root for the NFC, but rooting for the NFC East is tough. But I think Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are just they have something special, and they've been here before. They're hungry for it, and I think it's their year.
Good seeing you again. Be well. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for coming on. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.